built by slogan. It requires concrete capacity. It is heavy reliance on financing that may never fully materialize. The initiative cost is pegged at around $4 billion. Yet government is only committing $300 to $400 million as seed capital. The rest is expected from the private sector, a lofty assumption in Ghana's current climate. But I dare ask, what are the incentives for the private sector? A situation where instead of creating jobs, you are sacking our youth from having their jobs. Then you say you are creating jobs. What foundation are you mounting this vision on? Mr. Speaker, this country must not be subjected to PR gimmicks and political rhetorics. We want action, and the NDC must know that the clock is ticking. We do not have time. Your 4 years, almost 7 months gone. Time is not on your side. Do something before the people boot you out. Mr. Speaker, even if money is found, implementation bottlenecks abound. A 24-hour economy needs reliable 24-hour power supply. Do we have a reliable power supply? Since you came, doomsday is what we see. The minority has suggested to this government that pursue reforms at ECG. Reforms were started. Pursue, and we will support you. What you are instead doing is coming out with new levies, because that is a convenient way. We want to tell you that if you are serious about this 24-hour economy, your duty is to undertake reforms and focus on agriculture. What you are doing will take you nowhere. You cannot continue to impose levies. At ECG, you started with 14% and then ended with another 2.7%. Then you came with another doomsday levy, all in an attempt to resolve the crisis. Yet, the key thing to pursue, which is a reform, you have abandoned it. Are you serious, or you are still in rhetorics? Mr. Speaker, now they claim a certain big push, and they have selected certain roads that they claim that these roads will be constructed. Mr. Speaker, we wish them well. However uneven we found these to be, at least we want to give you the chance. Let's see how you roll them out in the next 6 months. Mr. Speaker, we call on the NDC to acknowledge the investment that were made in the educational sector. Happily, Dr. Educhum is in this chamber. The investment made by he and Matthew Opoku Prempeh as sector ministers. Mr. Speaker, in the education ministry, not only did we roll out the free SHS, we also, Mr. Speaker, came up with a TVET, make sure that the TVET was free, and also introduced a STEM program. Mr. Speaker, you may have to. Mr. Speaker, today.
Honourable member, just address the chair.
Very well. Mr. Speaker, to date, over 3.1 million Ghanaian students have benefited from the free SHS. They've gained access to education, a thing that many Ghanaian youth never dreamed of. Mr. Speaker, the NPP must be commended. Mr. Speaker, we would want to conclude by urging the NDC. You have an opportunity to govern. Focus on governance. Create a Ghana that is an opportunity for all. Stop hounding the Chief Justice. Stop politicizing the judiciary. Focus on a Ghana that will be attractive for all. Focus on a Ghana that all of us will be proud to be citizens of. Do not think that the power you have will last forever. The power you have is left with 3.5 years. Mr. Speaker, we have had our chance. We've made our mistakes. We have come out, we've chalked successes. And we admit that we couldn't have been perfect. But the expectation is that you who said you could do it better can do it better for all to see. Mr. Speaker, that said, and without more, I would want to thank you for the opportunity granted me, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Honorable Minority Leader, thank you. Thank you very much for your concluding remark. Honorable members, before giving the floor to the Majority Leader, kindly indulge me to acknowledge the presence of visitors at the public gallery. First on the list is Philomena Tete, Mr. Keane, Daniel Tete, Samuel Tete. They are from Brussels, Belgium, all the way coming to our parliament to witness our proceedings. Then we also have Cyril Keane Tete and Curtis Keane Tete. They are also from France. Then I have my own classmate, Lieutenant Colonel Corbier Esquire. He's also in our midst. I will then proceed to give the floor to Honorable Majority Leader for his concluding remark. You also have 45 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And let me also thank my colleague, the Minority Leader, for his remarks on the mid-year budget, media review of the budget statement that was presented to this House. The motion before this House is that this Honorable House approves the mid-year review of the budget statement and economic policy of the Government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Mr. Speaker, I have spent some time in the chamber and listened to the debate by colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and I must say that I have been impressed by the industry and the research that especially our new entrants to the chamber have put into their preparation for the debate. I highly commend our first-timers and their contributions. Mr. Speaker, we have just listened to my colleague, the Minority Leader, and I think that as he spoke, I recalled our days in this chamber with he and Chairman Sabonsu as majority leaders. Indeed, the beginning and the end of Ghana's economic problems was in Ukraine. I'm tempted to believe that the NPP as a party and a government has benefited more from the Ukraine war than even the Russians who started it. I won't be surprised if Ukraine sues NPP, because the NPP has overexploited the war. Mr. Speaker, as I listened to the Minority Leader, I recall vividly sitting on this side and over 88 members of parliament on the MPP side in government petitioning and indeed threatening to leave this house because they wanted their very failed finance minister dismissed. Their finance minister had performed so abysmally that over 88 of them marshaled their numbers and wanted the finance minister deposed. And I am surprised today to hear the minority leader attempt to obliterate that record from our history. I hereby remind you. Which finance minister? You are boasting of social intervention programs. Ken Ofori-Atta capped every single social intervention fund in this country. Get Fund was capped. Common Fund was capped. NHIA was capped. Every social intervention was capped. Road Fund was capped. Mr. Speaker, it is not a question of who started a social intervention program. The question is who most efficiently ran a social intervention program. And I can say with pride and confidence that since assuming office, John Dramani Mahama and his Minister of Finance have demonstrated greater commitment to social intervention than anybody has ever done. We have uncapped Get Fund. We have uncapped Common Fund. We have uncapped NHIA Fund. And we have not only uncapped them, but since assuming office, we have been up to date in payments and none of those funds have been deprived of any funds. That is how to demonstrate commitment to social intervention funds. Not to start them, but to sustain them and to execute them to the letter of the laws that establish them. Mr. Speaker, I almost laughed and fell from my chair when he mentioned that President Akufo-Addo constructed 13,000 kilometers of roads. 13,000 kilometers of roads. 13,000 kilometers of roads. Mr. Speaker, that has been clearly debunked. And I want to tell my friend, the minority leader, that no matter how many times you tell a lie, it still remains a lie. There's no number of repetition of a lie that will transform it into a truth. And Ghanaians know that their roads were not done under the NPP. Mr. Speaker, I think that I want to quote the Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Bo Lee, recently, to give a clear indication of how the NDC government is viewed, not just by those of us on this side of the House, but by people as far away as Washington. Mr. Speaker, the IMF Deputy Managing Director, Bo Lee, issued a statement and said, faced with large policy slippages and reform delays at the end of 2024, the new administration has taken bold corrective actions. Please listen. Please listen. This is the IMF speaking. This is not the majority leader. This is not Ato Forson. This is not John Dramani Mahama. This is Bo Lee. He says, faced with large policy slippages and reform delays at end 2024, the new administration, that is the administration of President John Dramani Mahama, the new administration has taken bold corrective actions to maintain the program on track. So even the IMF program that you began, you delayed in the implementation of the measures because you were afraid of the 2024 December elections. So there were slippages, there were delays, all the measures that you were supposed to implement, you did not implement them for fear that implementing them may cost you an election that you actually lost in the end. So this is what he said. Combined with ongoing reform efforts and an improved external position, the corrective measures are set to support Ghana in reaching the goals of economic stabilization, rebuilding resilience, and fostering higher and more inclusive growth. The authorities are strongly committed to restoring fiscal discipline and addressing the structural weaknesses that led to the slippages. They have passed a 2024-2025 budget consistent with the program's objectives and enacted and enhanced fiscal responsibility frameworks. Looking ahead, staying in the course of fiscal adjustments and completing the debt restructuring are key to ensure fiscal sustainability. Mr. Speaker, so it is not just the minister, but the IMF have given a clear indication that the measures we have put in place are the right measures. Mr. Speaker, it is not just the IMF. The various credit rating agencies, Fitch, and all of them have given a clear indication that Ghana is on the right path. Ghana's economic reform efforts have received a major boost as global rating agency Fitch upgraded the country's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating IDR from restricted default to B- with a stable outlook. And that is not just Fitch. All the others have given us a very positive rating. Mr. Speaker, civil society groups, everybody knows Imani Ghana. Everybody knows that they are a very impartial organization. When it is A, they say it is A. When it is B, they say it is B. After the Minister for Finance delivers his mid-year review to this Parliament, the President of Imani Africa, Franklin Cudjoe, clearly threw his support behind the Finance Minister and the policy measures that he has been implementing. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the media review, you will take 10 key points. The media review does not request for extra funds. We're not asking for extra funds. An approval is requested, but the approval is simply based on the fact that there is some multi-year expenditure item and Section 33 of our PFM Act indicates that it has to receive parliamentary approval. Mr. Speaker, very good news reported in the mid-year report. Public debt dropped by 113.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the MPP left us with a debt exceeding 726.7 billion Ghana cedis. 726.7 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, within 5 months of becoming the finance minister, Atuforsen was able to drop this debt up to 113.7 billion Ghana cedis. This is clearly unprecedented. Somebody says that, where did he get the money from? That it is exchange rate. It takes intelligence to know that you can use exchange rate to pay your debts. It takes wizardry, economic wizardry, to know that you can use exchange rate alone to pay a lot of your debt. Why didn't Ofori-Atta use exchange rate to pay the debt? Why didn't Ofori-Atta use exchange rate to pay the debt? Why didn't he? Mr. Speaker, another key point that we take from the media review is that we are going to approach our infrastructure development more intentionally than we have done in the past. So the 55 major stalled infrastructure projects, we will not pursue all of them at once, because if we spread ourselves thinly, given our debt obligations, we might not be able to make significant progress. And so the minister has decided to concentrate on a few of them. Mr. Speaker, the minister is also following up to ensure that we clean the public sector payroll. And he has reported to us that he has conducted a payroll audit. And so far, what the audit reveals is that we have 150 million Ghana cedis in unearned salaries identified. 150 million Ghana cedis in unearned salaries. This highlights the level of corruption that has pervaded our public sector. That we cannot verify 14,000 workers, and that 53,311 separated staff are still drawing salaries. So 53,311 staff who have left the public service, separated, are still earning salaries from government, whilst we cannot verify 14,000 workers. So in all, 450 million Ghana cedis is going as unearned salaries. Mr. Speaker, another major thing that the minister has indicated in the media review is that the sinking fund is going to be populated with funds again. Indeed, I recall when the minister stated that he was going to begin to put US dollars in our foreign accounts and Ghana cedis in our local currency accounts, a colleague minister, a minister of state shouted, why is he going to do that? All the time when we come, we build these funds, and the day we leave office, and people will come and squander all the funds. Squander all the funds. Why is he going to build another fund again? So the MPP will come in future and come and squander all the funds. When the finance minister, when I turned to the minister and I told him that I'm very sure that for a very long time the MPP will not come. Mr. Speaker, the minister has also indicated that major reforms are taking place in the energy sector. Indeed, the Energy Sector Levies Act is expected to yield 2.9 billion, but that is not enough. There is an effort to transition to gas usage so that we can drastically cut down on our energy expenditure. And that is my response to the entreaties of the minority leader that we must address the wastages in the energy sector. Mr. Speaker, when you listen to the media review, one theme runs through the media review, and that is the theme of fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, by 2023, our economy had gotten to a very critical point. Our debt to GDP ratio had peaked to 84%. Inflation had soared to 54%. Mr. Speaker, I could not believe it to hear that fiscal deficit shrank from 10.7% of GDP in 2022 to 1.1% of GDP in 2025. These are measures that could not have been achieved without painful fiscal discipline. I was also impressed to see that our debt to GDP had also declined from 84% to 43.8%. Mr. Speaker, clearly, I have heard my colleague and the NPP complain about lack of spending. Lack of spending. We are not spending. We are not spending. Mr. Speaker, it is true that we are not spending on wasteful expenditures. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, what is the value? What is the value to the state when you spend 280 million Ghana cedis building a structure that you are supposed to spend 81 million Ghana cedis building? What is the value to the state? So that you can boast that you were spending, and you spent 280 million Ghana cedis to build the Bank of Ghana headquarters when you were told that you could build the structure with 81 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, what is the value? What is the value of spending? What is the value of spending when you spend hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis to dig a hole in the name of building a cathedral for God? What is the value of spending? How can you commend yourselves for spending when you are spending monies digging holes and cathedrals were not emerging from those holes? Mr. Speaker, it is true that we may not be spending as much as you would want us to spend, but that is because we will not engage in wasteful spending. Mr. Speaker, I have heard the minority leader's response to the minister's accusation that the inadequacy in terms of revenue generation is as a result of smuggling. But that is the truth. There is excessive smuggling. And on this score, I will urge the security agencies to be up and doing to try and reduce the levels of smuggling that we inherited. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Finance has to be commended for the leadership that he has demonstrated in navigating our economy through turbulent global headwinds. I have heard the minority want to go back to Russia-Ukraine war. This morning, when I left my house, I was watching CNN. And even yesterday, Russia has sent some bombs into Ukraine and bombed some buildings. So the Russia-Ukraine war has not ended. And yet, the city has rebounded. Russia is still firing missiles into Ukraine, and yet the Ghana city has become stronger. Russia is still firing missiles into Ukraine, and yet the cost of fuel products in Ghana has reduced. Russia is still firing missiles into Ukraine, and yet the price of maize has reduced. Russia is still firing missiles into Ukraine, and yet the price of sugar has reduced. Russia is still firing missiles into Ukraine, and yet the price of rice has reduced. Can you explain to Ghanaians why for all these years you have heaped every misfortune of Ghana on poor Ukrainians and aggressive Russians, when today they can see that Russia is still firing Ukraine and yet their economy is getting better? Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that the NPP spend most of their tenure misleading Ghanaians and lying and attributing every misfortune to the Russians and the Ukrainian misfortunes. But it is obvious that Aban Papa has come, and Ghanaians are seeing the difference, that their city has become stronger, the dollar has become weaker, the British pound has become weaker, the major foreign currencies have become weaker in relation to the Ghana cedis, and the Ghana cedis has appreciated in an unprecedented manner in recent history. Mr. Speaker, they have seen also that interest rates have reduced. I heard the minority leader saying that the NDC government is doing nothing about the private sector. Doing nothing about the private sector? How true is that? Do you really understand the private sector? Do you really understand the private sector? You are champions of the private sector. Mr. Speaker, the champions of the private sector drove interest rates to 40% to an extent that the private sector could not borrow from our banks. That is the champions of the private sector. Since assuming office, interest rates have reduced. Inflation has reduced. The cedi has become stronger. The dollar has reduced. These are the things that the private sector is looking for. When the private sector is able to go to the bank and there's liquidity in the banks and they can borrow at lower interest rates and expand their businesses, they prefer macroeconomic stability as against tax exemptions. The private sector prefers macroeconomic stability as against tax exemptions. So the era when every day we were inundated in this house with applications for tax exemptions, instead of focusing on driving interest rates down, on reducing inflation, on reducing the exchange rates so that businesses can thrive and create jobs for the people, those days are long gone. Mr. Speaker, in 6 months, barely 7 months, the private sector is becoming the real engine of growth. The real engine of growth. I listened to the minority leader. He asked about jobs. He asked, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? The jobs are occurring in the private sector. There's a lot of money in the banks chasing businesses. Just walk out and ask any banker. A lot of money in the banks chasing businesses. Do you know why? They are chasing businesses because government has stopped borrowing from the local banks. Indeed, I've just heard a colleague MP say that it's not just the private sector. Indeed, they are chasing MPs with loans. Mr. Speaker, so the economy is doing well. Growth has rebounded. Our fiscal deficit has reduced to 3.1% of GDP from 7.9 in 2024. Gross international reserves have increased to 11.12 billion US dollars, covering almost 5 months of imports. We have achieved a primary surplus for 2 consecutive quarters, $2.1 billion in Q1 2025, according to the Bank of Ghana. Debt to GDP ratio declined from 61.8% in December 2024 to 55% through active liability management. Ghana has been upgraded by the major credit ratings agencies. Fitch Ratings upgraded Ghana. Standard & Poor's Global Ratings have also revised their ratings on Ghana, and Ghana is looking very good to the international financial institutions. Mr. Speaker, there may be some challenges with revenue mobilization, but even then, the story is very good. In the first quarter of 2025, I think that they were able to rake in over 5 billion Ghana cedis. Efforts are being made to modernize our revenue collection agencies, and we believe that very soon we will begin to see real progress in that sector. Mr. Speaker, we will spend, but we will spend wisely. We will be spending over 28.7 billion on capital expenditure. Over 28.7 billion. In the 2024 budget, the NPP spent only 28.7 billion. But in our 2025 budget, we have allocated 32.9 billion to capital expenditure. So we will spend. Mr. Speaker, we are spending on all the social intervention programs, and we have increased them. Senior high school, well taken care of. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, there is innovation in social intervention. Under the NPP government, who claim they are private sector oriented, they spend mostly on public sector institutions. But this year, we are spending on 60 private senior high schools. So we're not only spending on government senior high schools, but we're also spending on some private senior high schools. So we are including the private sector, even in spending on social intervention. We have increased the allocation to LEAP. We have increased the capitation grant. We have increased almost every social intervention program. Mr. Speaker, we are strategic in our direction. We are going to focus on agricultural transformation. Indeed, we are already beginning to see progress in the agricultural sector. In the mid-year review, we are told that agriculture led in the growth figures of this half year. So clearly, we are making progress in the area of agriculture, and that is how we intend to drive down food inflation. Mr. Speaker, we are investing in the Development Bank, and the Development Bank has already announced a 500 million financial support program for the agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, we're expanding the digital economy, and Mr. Speaker, our abolition of the obnoxious electronic levy has given confidence, and many more people are involved in electronic transactions. In April 2025 alone, mobile money transactions reached an all-time high of 351.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mobile money transactions in April alone reached an all-time high of 351.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, that is how much confidence Ghanaians now have, having abolished the electronic levy, and Ghanaians are using the electronic highway to transact their businesses. The number of transactions increased from 764 million transactions in March 2025 to 778 million transactions in April. That's just 1 month jump. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that the policy that we initiated and implemented in the abolition of the e-levy is indeed generating positive results. But Mr. Speaker, we are not yet out of the woods. We are not yet out of the woods. And so we will take constructive criticism. We need to continue the fiscal discipline. We need to spend, but spend in the right places. We need to fight corruption. We need to transform our governance. We need to create jobs for the youth. We need to invest more in agriculture. And I can see that when you read the new initiatives outlined by the Minister of Finance, these are the new focus areas. So we have launched the jobs for the youth. We have also launched and established the gold board, which is also having an impact in terms of the reduction in the dollar rate to the cedi. And all these interventions are generating positive results. But most importantly, Mr. Speaker, this NDC government is a government that has kept every promise that we have made to Ghanaians so far. Mr. Speaker, we promised to establish a lean government, and we have established a lean government. We have appointed only 60 ministers of state and deputy ministers of state, because that was what we promised Ghanaians. We have abolished the development authorities, except the Northern Development Authority, which originally was what was agreed upon until the whole area became flooded with all sorts of development authorities. Mr. Speaker, the fight against corruption continues relentlessly. And the Attorney General and Minister of Justice is going to prosecute all those who are involved in corruption under the MPP administration. And we will not be deterred. We will not be deterred. Corruption has to be fought, because if we do not fight corruption, all the gains that we are registering will be lost in no time. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy, which is a key pillar in our economic strategy, will be rolled out very soon. And I have listened to the minority leader. He has provided some useful suggestions, and I can assure him that I have sat in cabinet, and many of the things that you have raised are indeed key considerations in implementing a 24-hour economy. You need an infrastructure base to support running an economy for 24 hours. Key among it is energy. So we are taking steps to boost our energy generation capacity in the country. We are taking steps to boost law enforcement capabilities so that people can work 24 hours without fear of crime and violence. Indeed, we are looking at the various possible economic nodes. So the northern sector will have a whole strategy that it will focus on. The Volta Basin will have a whole strategy that it will focus on. The coastal belt will have a whole strategy that it will focus on. The cities and the rural areas and the mining sectors. Every sector of our economy has some strategy that we are focusing on as part of the 24-hour economy strategy. Very soon, we will bring the Directorate of the 24-hour economy to come and give us further briefings of the details of the rolling out of that program. So let me assure you that the 24-hour economy will be implemented, and it is going to be a game changer. Mr. Speaker, our economy is turning around. We are recovering. Inflation has come down. The cedi has rebounded. The dollar has reduced in value in relation to the cedi. Fiscal discipline is being adhered to. We are fighting corruption strenuously, and we are retooling our public sector to make it more efficient, more effective, and also less wasteful of public resources. The Minister for Finance, Honorable Atuforsen, needs to be commended highly for his leadership. He needs to be commended highly for his discipline. He needs to be commended highly for his wisdom. Mr. Speaker, in the past, we were told of some economic wizards being paired with certain candidates so that they will perform economic miracles. When those wizards assumed office, all the children in the village were crucified. Mr. Speaker, the economy was brought to a standstill. It collapsed. Atuforsen is not a vice president. Atuforsen is just one of us, a colleague member of parliament that we elevated to the Ministry of Finance. And within 7 months, he has done things that have never been seen in the history of the financial management of this country. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude on the note of Boku. Mr. Speaker, we are not running away from Boku. We, NDC government, we are not running away from Boku. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, for those of you who have chosen to have a very short memory, Boku was a very peaceful place from 1984 till 2001 when Kufuor took over as president. That is it. Those are the facts. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you don't know about Boku. Let me tell you about Boku. And you can go and check the records. If you want us to debate it, I can fix a date and we'll debate it and I'll give you the records. Mr. Speaker, the problem in Boku was caused under the NPP administration. Under the NDC NPP administration. That is what happened. Once Akufo-Addo was president, he allowed somebody to be appointed as a rival chief in Boku, and that is the cause of the problem. And once Akufo-Addo was president, that rival chief was taken into Boku. That is the cause of the problem of Boku. And I am assuring you that President John Dramani Mahama will solve the Boko problem once and for all. Boko problem will be solved once and for all by John Dramani Mahama. We are not rushing. We are not rushing. We don't want to be populist. We have confidence in the Asantehene, and we leave the matter in his hands. And I can assure you that Boko will be solved. Mr. Speaker, on that note, let me thank our friends in the minority. Why am I thanking them? They stayed away from the presentation of the mid-year budget. But they have come to debate the mid-year budget. So I thank them. Let me thank the majority, because we have been steadfast with the Minister of Finance, supported him, implemented all his policies, enacted all the legislation that has enabled the positive gains that we are seeing in the economy to inure to the benefit of ordinary Ghanaians. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thank you very much.
Leader.
Honorable members, Honourable members, can we have some order? Honourable members, order. Honourable members, may I please ask whether the minister responsible for finance will want to conclude, make a concluding remark. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I know my brother, Honorable Afenyo Markin, the Osahini. There are times when Togbe, you know, there are times when Togbe will exercise his magnanimity and his sense of mercy in a way that surprises everybody. And I know that this is one of those times. This is one of those times when we will be able to prevail on the Osahini, the Togbe, to allow the Deputy Minister for Finance to conclude on Normally, when we have finished, the ministers are allowed to thank us for the messages, the arguments, the debates, the pieces of advice, and constructive criticisms that are embedded in this debate. And I believe that, given that the finance minister is unavoidably absent, my brother will allow the deputy minister, who is one of us, who is a friend of the Osahini, to conclude on behalf of the Minister for Finance. I make an application for him to be allowed to conclude on behalf of the Minister for Finance.
Leader.
Speaker, with respect, the leader of government business has made an application. Such applications are generally not opposed. But since he says that the deputy minister is going to thank us and also going to assure us that he will carry the sentiment of the House to government, I pray that this will be done. Mr. Speaker, our respected friend Ampim loves to debate. The past days that we started this debate, I didn't see him on the list. I know that he would be tempted. Mr. Speaker, I know that he will be tempted to debate, but yes, please. I know that he will be tempted to debate. Therefore, Honorable Deputy Minister, you know that we have a long way to go in this House. Don't breach trust. Don't breach trust. Don't throw any low blow. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I will yield to the prayer of the leader of the House. But please, just be in your diplomatic best and within 2 minutes. Mr. Speaker, and just 2 minutes. Do the right thing so that in future when an application is made for you, we will not oppose. You know you have a business here. What actually brought you was this, your business. And we've also agreed to the other paper addendum. So anything negative you do may...
Honourable Minority Leader,
may affect.
I can assure you that the Deputy Finance Minister will not do anything negative.
Mr. Speaker, I just also want to say this to assure my back.
Yes.
That he will do the right thing.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Very well. Before giving the floor to the Deputy Minister for Finance, let me acknowledge the presence of Project Abroad, led by Theophilus Etu Jonah, Regional Coordinator. They are from various countries: Germany, France, USA, UK, and Colombia. They are 15 in numbers. On behalf of the House, I welcome you. May you have a fruitful stay. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minister for Finance, you have the floor. Ampin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, my grandpa told me about patience and posterity. No. Under normal circumstances, this should be nothing. But you know, Mr. Speaker, you see, when I am even using the dispatch box, they would raise all manner of things, but it's okay, Mr. Speaker. The mood in this house is one of cooperation. I will not object to
Honorable MP, please get up
it. It's fine.
Your place
but
and then
colleagues,
address us. No,
you should always remember the evil you do to others would always come and haunt you. But I have no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on 24th of this month, the Minister for Finance, Dr. Cecile Atuforsen, was in this House on the authority of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama to present the mid-year review of the 2025 budget in line with Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act. Subsequently, Mr. Speaker, as has been the practice in this House, and in accordance with our standing orders, members have taken turns to express their opinions on the statement presented by my boss. Mr. Speaker, today I count myself the luckiest Deputy Minister in President Mahama's administration because Ato is the best minister any deputy can wish for. It seldom happens that a Minister for Finance will yield such an important podium to his deputy. Dr. Atuforsen, God bless you. Mr. Speaker, may I take this opportunity to thank honorable members for an engaging debate, some made in good faith and others with obvious mischief and misrepresentations. Since our colleagues on the other side were not present to listen to the Minister for Finance at first hand, we may forgive them for the misrepresentation since they may be speaking based on hearsay. However, Mr. Speaker, kindly permit me to correct some of the misrepresentations made by some colleague members. The Honorable Abna Osei Asari stated, and I quote, "If the cedi has appreciated against the US dollar, external interest payments should come down." It has rather increased by 1 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, I want to state that this assertion is totally incorrect. In fact, Appendix 2C of the media statement indicated under external interest payment that out of the 3.97 billion In fact, Appendix 2C of the media statement indicated under external interest payment that out of the 3.97 billion cedis that was programmed to be paid within the first half of the year, 3.7 billion was actually paid, resulting in a savings
Honorable
of
Deputy Minister.
179.
Honorable Deputy Minister, hold it. Yes, Minority Leader. You two come and move.
Mr. Speaker, I want the Majority Leader to lend support to this. He is a lawyer. I take him by his word. It shouldn't be that somebody is being set up for embarrassment. The man has a prepared speech. I have no problem if we've not closed the debate. We've closed the debate. The application was that you were going to thank us. Colleagues, let's not do this to ourselves. Then when there's a reaction, it's as if somebody is being unreasonable. No, you cannot. Your leader has spoken for 45 minutes. If you had rebuttals, your duty was to give it to him to rebut. You cannot seize this opportunity to say that you are coming to re-argue. No, let's not go there. No, let's not go there. Mr. Speaker, that was not the understanding. That was not the understanding. That was not the understanding. No, no. Mr. Speaker, no, 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 no. That was not the understanding. You said he is thanking and taking the concerns on board. Please, don't use, you have about 4 pages. You are now going to re-argue again. No, Mr. Speaker, it's not fair. That was not the understanding. If you are thanking us as courtesy demand, do so. And Majority Leader, please intervene and get this resolved so that we don't
Minority Leader,
get matters degenerating.
you have made your point.
Oh.
Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, you know, historically, anytime that we have finished debating, the Finance Minister concludes, he thanks us, but this is a house of record. This is a house of record. So if the Finance Minister, hearing the debates, thinks that there is a factual inaccuracy, and he uses an opportunity to thank us, to correct it, there's nothing wrong with that. Because I heard him say that there were some claims made during the debate, and he's now going to correct it. So for the records, he wants to place things in proper perspective. This is the amount that was given, this is the amount that was paid, and this is the amount that was saved. I thought that was what I heard him say. So he's just correcting some records. Otherwise, in our debate, we would have misinformed the public. If he begins to say something that is contentious, you can raise an objection. But if he's just correcting the records, I think that we should allow him to correct the records.
Honourable members.
Because he's the one keeping the records.
Honourable members, we've all been in this house for some time. When debates are concluded by the leaders, opportunity is given to the minister who presents the budget to comment. We don't give condition based on which the minister is supposed to make the concluding comment. Honourable members, there are senior members in this house. They know the practice. The minister is not here. The deputy minister is stepping into the shoes of the minister. So we cannot prevent the minister from making concluding comments. He brought the budget that has been debated. So at the end of the debate, it is fair when we take comments from the minister. Honorable Deputy Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I got to the point where I was reacting to a statement made by my good friend, Honorable Abena Osei-Asare. And I quote, "If the cedi has appreciated against the US dollar, external interest payments should come down. It has rather increased by 1 billion Ghana cedis," unquote. Mr. Speaker, I want to state that this assertion is totally incorrect. In fact, Appendix 2C of the mid-year budget statement indicated under external interest payments that out of the 3.97 billion Ghana cedis that was programmed to be paid within the first half of the year, 3.7 billion was actually paid, resulting in a savings of 179 million Ghana cedis as a result of the cedi appreciation. This savings can build about 206 unit classroom blocks across the country, including Etiwa. Paragraph 248 of the mid-year statement stated clearly that external interest payments have been revised upward by 795 million cedis and not 1 billion to make provision for additional debt service due on post-cut-off date disbursements on bilateral loans that the previous administration made in 2023. Honorable Abena Osei-Asare again said, "There has been no real impact beyond the numbers in the mid-year review. Ghanaians don't live in the mid-year, they live in the economy. The mid-year was full of technical jargons," unquote. Mr. Speaker, if there has been any budget presentation that has been made simple for the ordinary Ghanaian to understand, it is the one presented by Dr. Cecile Atto-Forson. Honorable Abena, do you really believe that the improvement in the economy in the past 6 months has had no impact on the lives of Ghanaians? Let me remind my colleagues that within these 6 months, importers will testify that import duties have drastically reduced. The real income of households, which was eroded by an inflation of 23.8%, have seen a significant improvement with a reduction of inflation to 13.7%. Assembly members in Etiwa East are 1,300 Ghana cedis richer every month. All LEAP beneficiaries are receiving more than they used to, and promptly. And price of petrol has reduced from an average of 14 cedis 72 pesos per litre to 12 cedis 23 pesos per litre. Mr. Speaker, these and many more are the real occurrences in the economy that Ghanaian people can feel. And Mr. Speaker, one of the renowned pollsters in Ghana today, the Global Info Analytics, have been conducting periodic surveys. And they did one on standard of living. And Mr. Speaker, last year, 2024, around July 2024, their survey indicated that standard of living, 47% of Ghanaians said that their standard of living had worsened. Mr. Speaker, fast forward, this year, the same question was posed. In July 2025, guess what? Only 12% of Ghanaians said that their standard of living had worsened. 59% of Ghanaians say that their standard of living has improved. But Mr. Speaker, the same time last year, only 21% of Ghanaians believe that their standard of living has improved. And Mr. Speaker, the story is even more interesting when you recall standard of living improvement optimism. 1 year ago, their research revealed that when Global Info Analytics, they revealed that 20% of respondents said that there was no improvement in their standard of living. But Mr. Speaker, the interesting part is that today 72% of Ghanaians say that they are highly optimistic that their standard of living will improve, against 20% who thought that their standard of living will improve. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Mohammed Amin Adam, the immediate past finance minister, suggested that Dr. Ato-Forson cannot take credit for the reduction in the debt to GDP ratio because he, Amin Adam, negotiated the cancellation of over $5 billion of Ghana's debt. Mr. Speaker, I want to state emphatically that the reduction in Ghana's public debt from 726.7 billion cedis in December 2024 to 613 billion cedis as at the end of June 2025 has nothing to do with any purported debt cancellation. Ghana has not benefited from any debt cancellation in the past 6 months, the 6 months period that we are reviewing. The over 113 billion Ghana cedis reduction is as a result of the cedi's appreciation against the US dollar, something that seemed impossible under their tenure. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Gideon Boako, an advisor to the former Vice President, provided some wrong debt figures in his submission to suggest that the negative 15.6% debt accumulation is not novel. He misled this House by stating that the November 2022 public debt stock was 382.7 billion. Mr. Speaker, for the record, the Bank of Ghana's Summary of Economic and Financial Data published in May 2023, and it was published by Governor Addison, shows that the debt stock as at November 2022 was 575.7 billion and not the 382.7 billion quoted by the honorable member. The Minister for Finance stated, and I want to reiterate, that the negative debt accumulation recorded within the first half of this year has never happened in the history of our dear nation. Mr. Speaker, unlike his immediate predecessors, the Minister for Finance did not blame the performance of the economy on any external factor in the entire 1.5 hours of presentation. In fact, the Russia-Ukraine war is still ongoing. There are even more negative external factors like the war in the Middle East and tariff wars. But still, in spite of all these, we have performed. Mr. Speaker, we all recall how a certain driver's mate took control of the economy and recklessly drove it into a ditch so deep that what we inherited was nothing short of an economic crisis marked by deep debt distress and mounting debt service harms. A country with dispirited citizens. In the midst of all this, the public Mr. Speaker, we all recall how a certain driver's mate took control of the economy and recklessly drove it into a ditch so deep that what we inherited was nothing short of an economic crisis marked by deep debt distress and mounting debt service harms, a country with dispirited citizens, rising cost of living for an ordinary Ghanaian, collapsing confidence in our public finances, Trust and faith in our leaders were at an all-time low. The fundamentals were not only weak but broken. The misery and suffering were palpable. And in the midst of all this, the public purse was subjected to massive abuse. And in the words of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, massive uncontrolled corruption was the order of the day. Mr. Speaker, let me re-emphasize that the last 205 days of our stewardship under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama have been marked by consistent and sustained macroeconomic stability. Mr. Speaker, these gains are not episodic. They are the fruits of a carefully crafted and boldly implemented sound economic policies anchored on discipline, vision, and a deep sense of responsibility to the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, this marks the end of an era of empty political sloganeering. We remain unwavering in our commitment to deliver stable prices and decent jobs for our fellow countrymen and women. The signs are clear. We are indeed building back better, brick by brick, step by step, and little by little. Mr. Speaker, let our friends on the other side who have just walked out take note that recovery is not by press conferences. It is not by walkouts. It is not found in recycled rhetoric or speculative pessimism. It is earned through policy, perseverance, and performance. I said, let our friends who just walked out realize that recovery is not by press conferences. It is not by consistently walking out of Parliament. It is not found in recycled rhetorics or speculative pessimism. It is earned through policy, perseverance, and performance. Mr. Speaker, Ghana is rising again. The foundation is being rebuilt. The confidence is returning, and the momentum of our recovery is becoming stronger. Mr. Speaker, our economic model is delivering results because it is being championed with vision and dedication by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. In paragraph 537 of the media budget statement, the Minister for Finance gave a tall list of payments we have made. Let me take few of them to demonstrate that this is a marked improvement over what we have seen in the past. DACF, from January to June 2024, DACF had been paid 2.3 billion. But from January to June this year, we have paid DACF 2.9 billion. Get Fund received only 1.2 billion between January and June 2024. But the same period, January and June to June 2025, we have paid Get Fund 4.6 billion Ghana cedis. NHIS was paid 1.8 billion between January and June 2024. Between January and June this year, we have paid NHIS 4.6 billion cedis. SNIT, transfer to SNIT for the first 6 months of 2024 was only 1 billion cedis. The first half of 2025, we have transferred 2.7 billion cedis to SNIT. In fact, on 24th, the day that the finance minister was presenting the media budget review, we transferred another 300 million cedis to SNIT, making it 3 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, as at the end of December 2024, transfers to SNIT was in arrears of more than 2.2 billion cedis. But this year, no arrears have been accumulated. We are up to date, and we will continue to be up to date until the end of the year. Teachers and nursing training allowances have been paid in full as of June 2025, and from this month are receiving their allowances on monthly basis. As I speak now, the July 2025 allowances have been paid. Mr. Speaker, a good government always takes steps to protect the vulnerable in society. So President Mahama has increased leave and has paid promptly. He has increased school feeding and has paid promptly. He has increased capitation grant and paid promptly. Mr. Speaker, another significant improvement in the budget implementation this year is in the area of releases to MMDAs. And look at this. Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly, first quarter 2024, was paid DACF 700,686 Ghana cedis. Second quarter, they were sent another 700,686 Ghana cedis. Third quarter, the same amount, 700,686 Ghana cedis. In the whole of 2024, they received 3 transfers. The total was 2.1 million Ghana cedis. But guess what? In 2025, first quarter alone, Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly has received 3.1 million Ghana cedis. That is 1 million cedis more than the total amount received in the whole of 2024. And guess what? Second quarter, Sekondi Takoradi Metro Assembly is receiving 5.8 million Ghana cedis. So if you put the first 2 quarters, the first half of the year, Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly alone is getting 9 million Ghana cedis, compared to 2.1 million cedis for the whole of 2024. In fact, I'm sad the minority leader has walked out. The next assembly I'm taking is a Futu Municipal Assembly. I know you are listening from your office. The good people of Futu, first quarter 2024, the government of the MPP transferred only 478,712 Ghana cedis to a Futu Municipal Assembly. The same amount was transferred in the second quarter, and in the third quarter, the same 478,712 Ghana cedis. The irony of it, we know that transfers to common fund is a function of revenue. How surprising and how convenient is it that the same amount goes to the assembly each quarter? It shows that they were cooking figures. The total amount received by a Futu Municipal Assembly for the whole of 2024 was 1.4 million cedis. But first quarter 2025, we have sent a Futu Municipal Assembly 2.9 million cedis. The second quarter, a Futu Municipal Assembly is receiving 5.3 million cedis. The 2 quarters put together, 8.3 million cedis for a Futu alone. Winneba, a Futu. In fact, the next assembly I wanted to talk about is Karaga, the assembly of the immediate past finance minister, Honorable Mohamed Amin Adam. As finance minister, he supervised the transfer of a meager amount of 414,419 cedis for the first quarter, the same for the second quarter, and the same for the third quarter 2024. The total amount received by Karaga District Assembly in the former finance minister's district was 1.2 million cedis. Dr. Atoforsen, through DACF, has sent 2.2 million cedis to Karaga in the first quarter of 2025 alone. Second quarter amount to Karaga is 4,070,000 cedis. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama is determined to deepen fiscal decentralization and spur development at the local level. This is a sharp departure from the retrogressive re-centralization of resources witnessed under the previous regime. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Finance, in his conclusion to the media review statement, made a profound statement that Aban Papa Abba Indeed, the signs of economic progress are visible and measurable. First quarter economic growth is at a 5-year high because Aban Papa Aba. The Consumer Confidence Index rose from 87.7 in April 2024 to 103.6 in April 2025 because Aban Papa Aba. Business Confidence Index of 105.5 compared to 88.8 last year because Aban Papa Aba. Inflation has declined from 23.8% in December 2024 to 13.7% in June 2025 because Aban Papa Aba. Prices of a good government is here. Prices of sugar, rice, and cooking oil at a 4-year low because Aban Papa Aba. We injected 2 billion Ghana cedis into National Investment Bank, securing hundreds of jobs and protecting depositor funds because Aban Papa Aba. By lowering Treasury bill rate and strengthening the cedi, we've saved over 5.1 billion Ghana cedis in interest payments because Aban Papa Aba. Public debt has reduced by over 113 billion in just 6 months because Aban Papa Aba. Debt to GDP has reduced from 61.8% in December 2024 to 43.8% in June 2025 because Aban Papa Aba. The Ghanaian cedi has appreciated by a whopping 42.6% against the US dollar because Aban Papa Aba. Ghana's credit rating has improved from junk status to B- with a stable outlook because Aban Papa Aba. The 91-day Treasury bill rate has declined from 27.7% per annum in December 2024 to 10.84% per annum in July 2025 because Aban Papa Aba. Ghana's gross international reserves have risen from $8.98 billion to $11.12 billion US dollars, now covering 4.8 months of imports because Aban Papa Aba. Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians are now happy because Aban Papa Aba. In fact, Aban Boneko and Aban Papa Aba. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Honourable members, indeed, on Thursday, 24th July 2025, the Honourable Minister for Finance, Dr. Kessiel Ato Banfossen, moved the motion numbered 8 on today's order paper. The motion was seconded by Honorable Richard Achampong. The motion has been debated, and at the conclusion of the debate for the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the year 2025. The question, therefore, is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Honourable members, let's turn to order paper addendum at commencement of public business presentation of papers. Yes. Minister responsible for finance.
Mr. Speaker, the minister is not in the chamber, but with your indulgence, if we can allow the Deputy Minister for Finance.
Deputy Minister for Finance,
Yeah,
you may
to
lay
lay
the paper
on
on
behalf
the
of
other
the
paper addendum.
Exemptions Regulations 2025.
Honourable members, the Exemption Regulations 2025 is duly presented and it is referred to the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation for consideration and reports. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we're not yet 5 hours, so we're in your hands.
No, we have not done 5 hours.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I move that, what time should we? Tomorrow what time? 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock? No. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House adjourns to tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.
Honourable members, the motion move for adjournment. Any seconder?
I second the motion.
Honourable members, motion move for adjournment and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, the question is, as many as are in favour of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Friday, the 1st day of August 2025 at 10 a.m.